How do you think it went?
As I was saying earlier to some of the audience, like I think it was a bit of a stumbling success.
Yeah.
So there were some good things that happened in general. I think the organization was solid.
Yeah.
But the problem is there's some things that even if you prepared for them just went awry.
Yeah.
So we're talking about technical glitches, having to interrupt one of the speakers was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because we lost the screen projector being recorded, and that we don't want to lose recording. So
Yeah, yeah.
it was a tough call to make, because we also had a thing where, like, you know, timing's running out for the crew to come in and create the layout for the afternoon. So I had to make some tough calls, like
Yeah.
how do you interrupt, how do you do things. But other than those kind of like technical glitches that I think almost all conferences have,
Yeah.
it was generally okay. It was
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah. How do you think the talks went?
The talks were great. There were deep technical dives into each of the person's expertise.
Yeah.
So if you look at Tom Forsyth, like somebody who actually worked and invented a lot of instructions for, you know, the ISAs for the Intel chips, and like AVX 512, which is a very popular thing among low-level programmers. Like, he contributed to that. So that's an amazing experience for us to hear the man himself discuss
Yeah.
those things, for instructions that we take for granted or take advantage of all the time as programmers.
And that's a weird thing to think about, like, because consider, why didn't turn log op exist before? No real reason. So the provoking thing was that microcode sucked on the chip we were using. Like, cool. I mean, like, I can, because I invented it. I actually have the, okay. I have the little plaque, so I'm not saying, like, who knows what the guy was thinking? I know what I was thinking. I was trying to solve this problem.
Why did you decide to write a custom C parser / compiler instead of using GCC or Clang and just hooking the exports as is usually done for language bindings?
I like to control our own destiny. And controlling our whole tool chain as sometimes, you know, why don't you use this other thing? Because my experience when using that other thing is we can't get any support from them. So when it doesn't work, instead of fixing the problem, I have to develop workarounds for it. And I just don't like that. I like to control our whole tool chain and the customer experience from front to back.
How do you think this year went?
Oh my God, best year ever.
Yeah.
At least in terms of like my personal day-to-day time here, like I actually felt relaxed.
Yeah.
I actually felt like I could sleep at night. I actually felt that there was a process in place. It was almost like an autopilot.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I still had to set some parameters, right? Send some directives and instructions because I am in charge. But for the most part, like with the new staff that I have, and with also the audience understanding how this goes, right? Just the formula is polished. And now I feel like I can enjoy this.
Yeah.
For the first time, and for the first time ever, I could actually walk around the crowd.
Yeah.
So in the past, it was more like somebody tries to stop me and says like, "Oh, hey, I know how you do." And I'm like, "Hi, I gotta go." "Hi, I gotta go."
Yeah, you're
Right?
just being pulled in every direction. Yeah.
Pulled in every direction, running all the time with my hair on fire. And it's a lot of hair, so it's dangerous. Okay? So finally, for the first time, I could just walk around and enjoy everything. Thanks to the staff, thanks to the audience, also just knowing how this works. So, yeah.
What are your goals for next conferences? Are there any other places that you're looking at?
Right, so as you know, it's no longer Handmade Seattle. It's now Handmade Cities, because I'm crazy that way.
Yeah.
And I want to expand, because there's a message here at Handmade that we need to preach, and it can't just happen at Handmade Seattle. So Handmade Boston, as you know, people know, I did my first one ever this year. And the goal for next year is polish, though. So I'm going to stay with Handmade Seattle and Handmade Boston. Handmade Boston needs a lot of polish because it was my first time ever. It's an alien format compared to Handmade Seattle. So I need the time to make sure that's good. But we also have this idea of meetups, and basically meetups.com but handmade. I did spin that up this year so that handmade folks can meet all year round. I give people hosting meetups once a month in their city access to my newsletter, which at this point, this conference newsletter is very big. So hopefully they can have access to that to send invites for their meetups, and that way we start to have more in-person hangouts That is not just conferences. So next year, I'm gonna say Polish for Handmade Boston, and then the Meetups initiative to just have handmade folks meeting all year round. That's gonna be like my focus for now.
Yeah.